I'm Robyn Foyster, editor at Women Love Tech. Every year for International Women's Day, we invite female leaders from around the globe to share their views on how we can shift the status quo for women.
Balancing the scales really means that women shouldn't just be included, they should be equipped. Stereotypes start early for young girls, as early as primary school. And we know that if we want to have more women coming into tech roles, that's actually where we have to start.
Gendered disinformation, deepfake attacks, and coordinated online harassment campaigns. They all disproportionately target women and girls. But it doesn't have to be this way.
What I'm most interested in this year is thinking about how we can make shifts where there has been good policy and good intention, but still not enough traction, where people are genuinely committed to creating equity between genders, but that's still not playing out.
My introduction into the industry in which I work was walking into a room of tech men all dressed in black. I was thinking about where do I fit in, but really what I should have been thinking was where do I stand out?
As a woman in tech, I've grown up professionally inside a system that I didn't design.
In a sea of black, I wanted to be the colour. I wanted to stand out and tip the balance on the scales for team women.
While progress has been made, true equality doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design.
Women are often expected to be strategic and likable, where men are simply expected to lead. I've challenged decisions in boardrooms with data, and I've been told that I was way too direct while my male peers were praised as decisive. That is unfair.
If there's one thing I know after decades in business, it's this. We need more women in leadership, and we need it now. More women in leadership means more diverse perspectives.
Around the world, incredible women are building businesses and driving economic and societal growth. Yet the systems that are in place to move information and opportunities and capital leave many of them feeling unseen. When we build clearer pathways from insights to investments, we create better outcomes for women, businesses, and entire communities. That is why we built Musa.
And when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's even less. Only 3% of the global venture capital goes to startups founded by women. But despite these gaps, women continue to build companies, to innovate, and to shape the future of tomorrow. So today, it's not only about celebrating women, it's about continuing to change these numbers.
This year's theme of balancing the scales means to me having women in the room not to meet a quota, but because of our ideas, the way we build, and the way we lead.
To balance the rooms, to have more men in these conversations, because that is the way that we all understand the impact that women can make when they're building these fantastic businesses that actually cater to the problems that half the population faces.
When we empower women, we do more than advance individual careers. We strengthen the entire industry. We accelerate innovation and build more resilient communities.
Even though there's only 10% of female cinematographers in Australia, we can use our knowledge of new platforms and cameras to help tell stories and give opportunities to women needing to have their voices heard.
Balancing the scales at the Social Outfit is about empowering refugee and migrant women by creating meaningful work whilst ensuring our supporters look incredible.
Balancing the scales in our business means creating real pathways for women and technology, from our work experience program at the grassroots level to supporting graduates through Grad Girls and mentoring women as they grow through leadership roles.
I grew up in Denmark surrounded by strong women in a social fabric that largely empowers women, and that shaped how I see fairness, opportunity and agency.
Hi, I'm Nicola Dow-Smith. For me, Balance the Scales is about creating access to opportunity, growth and confidence. Leading the ANZ cricket business, I focus on building a culture that balances the head and the heart.
And in technology, we have a unique role to play, creating workplaces where women of all ages are supported, heard and empowered to lead. And at HCL Tech, we champion inclusive teams. We amplify diverse voices,
Through our platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, we're connecting voices, amplifying stories, and surfacing trusted resources for survivor-centred communities.
The Australian Government has committed to implementing a digital duty of care this term. If you want to help balance the scales, get involved in these reforms and help to reshape online experiences and real-world consequences for all women and girls.
For every woman, find the clarity of your purpose and let that anchor your work. And never hesitate to speak up. Your unique perspective is essential to solving complex problems and is the fuel to expanding what leadership looks like for all of us.
I invite you to consider how you can balance the scales through your actions. By wearing clothes made by women, creating jobs and training in your workplace, or partnering with us to deliver economic independence for refugee women.
So my call to action is really simple. Let's remove the barriers early, open access to allow young girls to shine, especially the tinkerers, those that are curious. They don't always come from traditional backgrounds.
To me, balancing the scales means, as leaders, it is our responsibility to ensure that we're providing supportive and nurturing work environments for young women trying to kick off their career, providing an understanding and flexible environment for a young mum returning to the workforce.
When I think about balancing the scales, I feel a responsibility as a corporate leader, thinking about how we can help ensure women have access to financial freedom.
Balancing the scales means removing barriers to opportunity. It means ensuring women have clear pathways to leadership. It means creating workplaces grounded in respect, trust, and flexibility. And it means holding ourselves accountable every single day.
And I've got 3 girls at home, all are different. Their futures include teaching, business, science, or something completely different, who knows? And what I want for them is a world where they're safe, where they're heard, and where they're free to shape their own future. Balancing the scales is about progress and the everyday choices we make, because when the tide rises, everybody lifts.
If we want to balance the scales for women in tech, we must design workplaces where opportunity, pay, and recognition are transparent and equitable.
And what I would like to see is that rather than us just celebrating one day and having all these great effects from one day, that we can create a heartbeat throughout the innovation sector and the ecosystem. That means that we're providing those resources throughout the entire year.
When I think about International Women's Day theme, Balance the Scale, I think about responsibility, about making AI not just a tool for progress, but for a force of good.
Happy International Women's Day. It is my daughter's birthday, and I just love everything about it. Embracing more women, coming together, sharing stories, holding each other up. I hope you have an incredible day.
Balancing the scales doesn't happen by itself. It needs leaders. But leadership is a choice, not a title.
At this time of backlash, we're seeing power being concentrated in an even smaller number of hands. I'm encouraged by seeing the number of women and girls going into the technology sector because they can create the future that we all want to see. That's good for humanity as a whole. And that is how we balance the scales.